evening, folks. This is Deb Delapiana, and this is your chain reaction report. I really did want to do this this morning, but somehow last night, at 11 o'clock when the phone rang and my daughter's name came up on the screen, I knew there may have been a need. And so I had my mission of mercy this morning because she lost her wallet in the mall where she worked yesterday. Now, luckily they found that wallet, but that meant I had to pick her up and drive her to pick it up at the office of the mall at 8 o'clock because we both had 11 o'clock shifts today. So that kind of put a damper on my day, but I'm here. And it actually works out kind of nice because I got to toss in a couple of things here tonight that I didn't think I was going to toss in. So speaking of tossing, we're going to kick it all off tonight with our friend Lauren Boebert. I'm trying real hard not to call her a bimbo, but there are days when she just deserves that. So let me read this tweet, okay? As allergy season gets underway, I encourage everyone to take their allergy medicines so that my allergy medicines can work. You know, it doesn't work unless everyone takes it. To call Lauren Boebert anything but a bimbo at this point would be egregious on my part. I'm even wondering if Lauren Boebert understands that allergies are not transmissible. You don't have to wear a mask if you have an allergy. But if you have, say, the flu or something that can be transmitted through coughing, sneezing, a virus, then, that's why people do wear masks. A lot of that goes on in Japan. And we have a lot of Japanese customers that come in my store that were actually wearing masks into the store 3 and 4 years ago because they felt like they were getting sick and they did not want to spread it to anyone. Because I asked a woman who came in during the height of COVID when it first broke, a regular customer of mine. I asked her, just because, there had been rumors going on that, the reason the Japanese don't have a problem with masks is because they're complacent. They're courteous and they're thoughtful, and they actually think about their neighbors and their community and their friends. So shut the fuck up, okay? But Lauren Boebert, I could say it's like comparing apples and oranges, but it's even bigger than that. Maybe it's like comparing an olive and a fucking coconut. That's closer because she's a fucking coconut. Lauren, I don't have to take allergy medicine because I don't have allergies. But you really need to understand what a transmissible disease is. And I would suggest to you that before you make these analogies, you may want to learn about them before you open your big, fat mouth. Yeah. That's my first of the night. My second of the night is, God bless Arizona. I mean, where would we be without their thoughtful attempts at keeping children safe. So, the state of Arizona has just passed a law that is going to make it a requirement that your children take a gun course, grades 6 through 12. So they want to make this a requirement, and who better to teach that than the National Rifle Association, the NRA, one of the most famous and popular marketing groups in the state of Arizona, because, we often have legislators there who argue over who's been a member of the NRA longer. That's the kind of thing that they get into there. So what they really are doing here is let's not worry about the fact that we've had a 2-year pandemic and kids are falling behind in reading, writing, arithmetic, whatever. Let's make sure that they understand that they need to keep themselves safe from guns. And all the materials will thoughtfully be given to the students and the schools by the National Rifle Association. But hey, they're not there to try to indoctrinate children into gun use. Oh, hell no. Oh, don't ask me to believe that, okay? Do not, all right? So, House Bill 2448 apparently hasn't passed yet, but it's been filed, would require school districts and charter schools to provide gun safety training to students in grades 6 through 12. And woe to the parents if a certain legislator finds out that you are having your children opt out. So, this guy, Representative Quang Nguyen, he's from the Prescott Valley area of Arizona. He told the Public Safety Committee that the bill is designed so that schools can use the National Rifle Association's Eddie Eagle Gun Safe program, which, by the way, has been studied several times, including by the American Academy of Pediatrics, is found to be totally ineffective when kids come across guns in a real-world situation. So, the original reason this whole Eddie the Eagle thing was developed was to teach preschoolers through 4th graders what to do if they come across a gun. But we're going to adapt that for grades 6 through 12, okay? And even though this has been seen as a totally ineffective program and a waste of time, Representative Nguyen said, well, that's no reason to, not teach a safety course. There are ways to keep your children safe from guns, okay? You could make it punishable by law. If parents leave a gun around, a loaded weapon around for their children to find. There are any number of avenues that you can take to ensure that your children are, protected from doing something stupid. Look at, honest to God, some of these people, if you're a parent and you're leaving your fucking gun around and your night table loaded, maybe you're the one that needs to go to a gun safety course. I personally, my feeling is this, hey, have your Second Amendment, okay? Have your Second Amendment. Every person in America needs to take a gun safety course and get a certificate that proves that they took it. Every single gun in America needs to be registered so that it can be traced, okay? Every single gun. And automatic weapons, nobody needs automatic weapons. Nobody needs automatic weapons unless you're Kyle Rittenhouse and you're going to protect a building by shooting people in the back. Or, unless you're Madison Cawthorn and you're armed and dangerous inside the Capitol on January 6, 2021. Nobody needs automatic weapons to exercise their Second Amendment rights, okay? Those guns are not designed for hunting, for sport, or for protection. They are in existence for one thing: to kill large numbers of people efficiently and quickly, which is why it's a military weapon. It is not a sporting weapon, and it is not anything that should be in the hands of people in the United States, particularly those on the right, particularly thugs like Kyle Rittenhouse. Don't ask me to treat him like he's a fucking hero. He isn't. And never mind, my friends, that when one of the legislators in Arizona introduced a bill that requires guns be safely stored every year, the one that was filed in this year, House Bill 2367, didn't even get assigned to a committee. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to file bills. It makes it the onus of the parents. We are literally putting keeping your children safe from doing something stupid with guns on the children, as opposed to on the parents. What was that about all the parental rights shit? Are we protecting our parents now from having to actually parent? Is that what this is all about? Is this how we're protecting their parental rights, by making it the child's responsibility to keep them safe if you've got a gun? How does that fucking work? I'm mystified. It is the parent's responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the child. A child doesn't change its own diapers, okay? A child does not give itself its own medicine when it's sick. And a child should not have to bear the burden of keeping themselves safe from their parents' guns while the parents are scot-free. And by the way, Representative John Kavanaugh, Republican out of Fountain Hills, listen to this one. I don't think that should be an opt-out. And frankly, if it's an opt-out, I would forward the name and address of the parent to Child Protective Services if they opted their child out of this gun safety training. You would you? Oh, I thought the GOP and the right wing didn't like Child Protective Services. Aren't they sex traffickers? It's amazing how all of these things can be adapted and used and, applied when it's convenient for the right wing, in the hopes that everybody will forget exactly what they said about Child Protective Services when they said it just a few days ago. I haven't seen anything like the fucking hypocrisy of the Republican Party ever in my life. Okay? And I'll say this again. No, the two parties are not the fucking same under any circumstance. Okay? They are not. I will take you on in a debate at any fucking time. Any time. So here we are. We are in the United States, and we are banning outright the teaching of American history. Critical race theory is American history, okay? Whether you like it or not, whether you try to keep it away from people or not, whether you try to keep the little white snowflakes from feeling bad about themselves, you can't change history. History is there. We're going to put all of the critical race theory material out on the internet for people to access, okay? We don't really give a shit what the right wing thinks under any circumstance. And then last but not least, we're going to take a page out of the right wing conspiracy theory handbook. We've had some doozies, So here's a leap for you. Anthony Fauci owns stock in Moderna. And therefore, that's why COVID is here. Because he brought the virus here. So he could make money off the vaccine. That's a huge fucking leap. I'll tell you why it's huge. Because what Anthony Fauci owns for stock and shares is a matter of public record. And while it may not be easy to find, because none of that should be easy to find, you actually have to look for it. But you can find it. Anthony Fauci does not own any stock in fucking Moderna. Okay? He does not. He does not. And yes, it is true that his name is on several patents, but that is required. It's part of his job. And anything he has made from that, he has donated to charities. That is also a matter of public record. If you really want to find that, you can. So we're going to take a leap here, okay? Ginny Thomas, it has now been revealed, not only attended the Stop the Steal rally, but she sent several texts, not only to Mark Meadows, but to Jared Kushner and some other little bimbo in Trump's cabinet about overturning the election prior to the J6 insurrection. Insurrection, not peaceful patriots. Stuff that one, okay? Ginny Thomas is married to Clarence the Talking Mule. And I find it very difficult to make the leap that they don't talk to each other at night about this stuff, okay? I'm sorry. I do. And it seems awfully odd to me, I'm taking the leap here out of the paranoia handbook of the right wing, that when it came to blocking Trump's documents, the only dissenting vote on the entire SCOTUS when they roundly rejected Trump's request was cast by Clarence the Talking Mule. Odd, isn't it? You know, that's a leap from my toilet to my bathtub, which is right there, okay? The leap about Fauci is from the top of the Empire fucking State Building. Ginny Thomas is an activist. She's a right-wing activist, and she has been active in many circles and is involved in many issues that have come up to the Supreme Court. One has to wonder about the conflict of interest. I think Ginny Thomas is a danger to the Supreme Court. I think Ginny Thomas is a danger to the American public. I think the fact that Ginny Thomas's husband is a lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court in the midst of all of this is a joke. And I really do think Clarence Thomas should be impeached. Now, I'm not asking that Clarence Thomas be punished for what his wife has been involved in. But I think there is a clear conflict of interest, and I really do believe that all of the rules of the SCOTUS need to be looked at, changed, and then enforced. And then, you know, I did kind of forget one here, so I'm going to ask you to hold on just a minute. So we're talking about, just finished Clarence the Talking Mule, but now McConnell, whichever you prefer. So it's apparent that Mitch McConnell is going to vote against Judge Jackson Brown Jackson. Sorry about that. I do have a radio station. I really love Jackson Brown. That was a mistake on my part. Kajani Brown Jackson. He really is off the edge. But, you know, I really do think the Republican Party now is owned lock, stock, and barrel by the extreme right. And he stated that she was the favorite of the far left dark money groups that have spent years attacking the legitimacy and the structure of the court itself. You know what? The only people that have played with the legitimacy and the structure of the court have been the GOP. So let's talk about that. It was McConnell and the GOP who completely stymied Barack Obama when Merrick Garland was Obama's nominee for the Supreme Court. The argument was that, you know, Obama was an outgoing president and the next president should have the right to make that appointment. That would have been fine had that same rule applied for the GOP. But in fact, it didn't. It is actually Donald Trump who has fucked with the structure of the Supreme Court. He stacked the Supreme Court deliberately in an ultra-conservative mode. And speaking of dark money groups, we could educate Mitch McConnell by making a video about who actually funded the insurrection. In fact, I think I will do that next. Okay? Speaking of dark money groups. I mean, you know, let's face it. She's a favorite of the Democratic Party dark money groups. Hey, that's the system. You people want the system differently? Well, don't expect the politicians to change it. That lead comes from the people. Right now, I say Roe v. Wade's going to be overturned because women aren't even standing up for themselves. I don't know what's going on here in this country, but you know what? What the fuck ever, okay? We tried to get people on the streets last summer, knowing that this was coming. Sarah and I worked valiantly at that. Okay? Nobody was interested. But not only did Trump stack the court in a conservative manner, but as a lame duck president who had already lost the election, he managed to get Amy Coney Barrett put on the Supreme Court. The same rule should have applied for him. Okay? The same rule should have applied to him. We wait and see what happens after the election. And then you get to make that appointment if you prevail. So that's the thing here. You know, the Republicans can whine and snivel, and they're really good at that. But the reality is that they suck. Okay? And whatever the rules are in America right now, it doesn't apply to any of them. They want to carry a gun onto the floor of the Congress, they carry a gun onto the floor of the Congress. They have to get, fined. And Marjorie Taylor Greene says that she's might as well be working for nothing because all of her salary is going to the fine she's getting for carrying guns on the floor. Off whatever. Well, then don't fucking do it, Marjorie, because those are our tax dollars. You're not losing any of your own money. You're pissing our money out the window. And of course, you're fucking useless anyway. Okay? It's amazing to me. And last but not least, it appears that Vladimir Putin is whining about being canceled, just like J.K. Rowling. Well, you deserve each other, you and J.K. You know, Mitch McConnell made the comment that they canceled J.K. Rowling even though she sold millions of books. Well, you know, a lot of people sell books. That doesn't make them decent people. J.K. Rowling is a shitbag, okay? J.K. Rowling is a bigot. And J.K. Rowling forgets that she came from nothing. And we made her rich. The people who bought the Harry Potter books. Us. We paid money to go see her movies. We made her rich. The people. By the way, I've seen Harry Potter. I saw them years ago. I'll never watch them again. She'll never get a dime out of me. Sorry, I don't do the bigot thing. All right? What people do with their own bodies is really not my business. It's not her business. It's not the government's business. It's not your fucking business. Mind your own fucking business. And as for Vladimir Putin, don't give me the line that Vladimir Putin is helping the people of the Ukraine or that he's denazifying the Ukraine. He's bombing maternity hospitals and orphanages and killing people. And he's doing it because he wants control of the Ukraine. He wants to beat them down. There is only one reason why Vladimir Putin is doing what he's doing. It's because he was a KGB man and he never wanted Russia to break up the way it did. And that is it for tonight. I've had enough of these people. I'm going back to work on the website. I want to get it posted, and we'll go from there. But I'll talk to you all soon. Have a nice night.